Welcome back, fanatics. This week we're doing a little bit of a different style of episode with a bit of a parallel between two movies as opposed to just breaking down one movie itself.
Mhm.
How was this inspired?
Well, we watched Casino on your recommendation, another Scorsese classic.
Yeah.
And in watching Casino, noticed a few similarities or parallels between The Wolf of Wall Street, another of Scorsese's films that, of course, came out 20 years later. But there's a lot of similar themes across those two movies, particularly with characters and more specifically with the protagonist of the movies, but certainly spreads a little wider than that.
Yeah, I hadn't really noticed a whole lot of parallels at first, but whenever you planted that seed, I sort of started thinking about it more, and there is actually quite a bit of the same type of themes and archetypes and character similarities, like you were saying too. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea to sort of flesh that out a little more and see how closely related the two really are.
Mm-hmm. Turns out everybody loves Scorsese because he makes the same fucking movie over and over again.
Scorsese, yeah, he's just reusing, rehashing the same thing, and
Yeah,
a bit of a different, more modern shell, I guess.
yeah, just rinse and repeat.
Well, that's maybe a hot take, considering he's pretty highly regarded as a director.
I know. Well, yeah, but we can see why if he just makes one movie well, 15 different ways. No wonder everybody loves him.
Well, how much more experience do you have with Scorsese films? Like, I
Uh,
wonder if it goes even deeper than
than
just the two of
this.
these.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's our job then to find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the obvious similarity being the legality of these very high income businesses, right? Like with the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, it's stock manipulation, the old pump and dump, whatever the fuck he actually gets arrested for. But with De Niro, I guess it's just fraud straight up, right? Like he just didn't have a license to run a casino.
Yeah, and I guess he's sort of got some rough and tumble friends that he can sick on
Sure.
whoever he doesn't like or whatever. So
Sure.
there's a bit of like special treatment and stuff going on. But yeah, he operates in a bit of a gray area, I guess, in terms of legality. But yes, I guess fraud would be the best descriptor
Yeah.
for what he was doing in terms of breaking the law. But I guess it was like he didn't really. It seemed like he wasn't as concerned with the law and more concerned with the family and making money and
Yeah.
not getting whacked, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's where the similarities dissipate is the getting whacked part. Jordan Belfort isn't really worried about getting.
He wasn't concerned with that, yeah.
No. But yeah, both legitimate enough businesses. Like, it's not illegal to be a stockbroker. It's not illegal to manage a casino, but it's just the method in which they did that happens to be
Yeah, both trying to build an empire using some shady
tax.
tactics.
Yeah, it's not like straight up crime. It's not like a Breaking Bad thing where it's like an empire built off of meth. It's like somewhat legitimate, or he's not breaking the law 24 hours a day. Neither of them.
I would say that Jordan Belfort was a little more inclined to accept and be hand waving over the crime of it all. Like De Niro's character in Casino was really trying to like separate himself from the illegalities of what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
most easily represented by like Nicky and his endeavors, knocking heads and taking names type of thing. So yeah, I guess there was that bit of difference between the characters too. Like, it seemed like Sam Rothstein was like trying to make it straight, but he was in too deep a little bit.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess another similarity for both of them is that once they do get in too deep, it's their associates or their friends that end up screwing them over. Not necessarily intentionally, but it's the fault of not them that they end up getting arrested, getting pinched.
Yeah, well, explain more. Like in
the Wolf of Wall
Casino's
Street
case. Sorry, Wolf of Wall Street's case.
Yeah, in the Wolf of Wall Street, it's
Donnie?
No, it's not Donnie. He does fuck up with the John Bernthal thing.
The John Bernthal thing, and I guess when Jordan's house is bugged at the end.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's talking on the phone.
Yeah.
But they're both too fucked on lewds to...
Get off the phone! I'm on the phone!
The Donnie stuffs his face with the meat and chokes
on
to
some ham.
death.
No, yeah, so it's Donnie in the Wolf of Wall Street, and then in Casino, it's really it's Joe Pesci's fault. It's because of the physical. It's because of the guys that take him out back and shoot him that he ends up getting arrested. De Niro. Or no. Why does De Niro get arrested?
He didn't get arrested. He just almost got blown up by the car bomb there.
Yeah, no, they try and whack him off.
Ah. That's an interesting choice of words. They do try and whack him.
The gang gets whacked off. Yeah, sorry, that's right. It wasn't legal trouble for Sam Rothstein. It was.
I mean, yeah, I guess
but in the same, their empire falling apart. And
yeah.
In the same vein, anyway. The similarity is still there.
Yeah, it all comes crashing down eventually. And both of them live to tell the tale, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And have to kind of switch up what they're doing. Jordan becoming a motivational speaker kind of,
a sales coach kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sam Rothstein did. I mean,
doesn't he
another
a TV
similarity
personality
that we didn't mention, maybe. But another similarity we didn't mention, I guess because it's obvious, but both based on a true story, both, Scorsese's interpretation of actual events.
The Casino was based on true story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm 90% sure it had that at the beginning.
Still in line with character similarities, both Jordan Belfort and Sam Rothstein are very adept at their jobs. They're damn good at what they do.
Yeah.
And learn the ropes quick and excel quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And rise the ranks. I mean, more so rising the ranks in terms of Jordan Belfort than Sam. He was kind of planted at this casino intentionally by the mob to be their guy.
It's still in the same, they both understand every part of their business. Even though Sam was put into that position, he's still, changing his title to all the different positions and making it look on paper he's it's he would have picked up some shit by doing this from each of the different positions in the casino, and we see him describe the hierarchy of the dealers and the managers and the floor security or whatever the fuck when he goes through in that montage.
Who's watching who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then
that was cool.
He's watching everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, in Jordan Belfort's case, it's creating the sales plan for them, creating that script, doing that himself, building the Stratton Oakmont.
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah, the like personality, the hard driving salesman, won't take no for an answer kind of approach, but will sort of like sweet talk your way there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they both achieved the highest level in their fields.
Yeah, and both meticulous about it, I guess. Like I remember the blueberry in the muffin.
Oh yeah,
Sam Rothstein
there
like
wasn't
went into
enough,
the
or the
kitchen and
lack of
threw a fit
blueberry in the
about
muffin.
yeah. There wasn't an equal amount of blueberries throughout the two muffins, or in every muffin.
Fucking blueberries.
But yeah, I felt like Rothstein was like more analytical and more kind of cunning and underhanded, whereas Jordan Belfort was like, you know, a boisterous, debaucherous kind of asshole, but he got shit done.
Yeah, I mean, just as cunning and underhanded, though. I mean, he's stealing money out of the pockets of the rich. But
yeah, but sort of like
money.
predatory, you know what I mean? Like reminds me of like scammers, online scammers or phone scammers or something like that. Like, yeah, because he's a smooth talker, he's able to swindle people out of their cash. But yeah, De Niro was much more like, in terms of like the empire that the two of them built, reminded me more of like a Walter White kind of like, I have a stranglehold on all these aspects, whereas Jordan Belfort is like, this is what I did to get rich, and I want other people to get rich with me, so we build like this big fucking thing. One was more like individual, right? Rothstein was a little more individual with their success, whereas Jordan Belfort, as big as an asshole as he was, like, he was trying to make a lot of people money instead of...
I don't know. De Niro was like making money for the whole family there. Skimming off the top.
That was only like because he had to. That was to keep things sort of in order. Like he was... The casino was like a microcosm of like a playground where only he was king. The mob, yes, he had to send money back to the mob, but he had the freedom to do what he wanted there.
Yeah.
I think if he was under a... Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like he was trying to send money back to the family, but I don't think it was as much about that for... Like it seemed more selfish for him than it was for Jordan Belfort.
No, I think like completely the opposite. He wouldn't be in that position if it was a selfish endeavor. He would have been skimming way more money off the top and
Rothstein?
No. Yeah.
Well,
Jordan Belfort was like, individually, let me pump and dump these stocks so I make as much money as possible. If my boys here get in for a couple %, that's fantastic. But like the Steve Madden thing, he didn't give a
started
fuck.
as that.
No, it ended as that. The Steve Madden thing is a perfect example. They owned like half that. Him and Donnie owned like half that fucking company. Yeah. And then Steve Madden starts selling off his shares, and he starts freaking out because there goes his, hundreds of millions of dollars anyway.
Well, but that was just the only play he had at that moment because the PR was about to tank because him and Donnie were fucking looted up and making a fool of themselves. Isn't that why Steve Madden wanted out? Like, that's why he started selling shit off, because he owned less of the company than the two of them did. So he's like, fuck, they're putting the brand under kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean...
So I gotta sell off the 49% that I have.
Yeah, Steve Madden did exactly what Jordan Belfort was trying to do to him.
Right.
To make a fucking load of cash.
Yeah.
Selfishly.
Yeah, no, I don't deny that, like, it's proportional, or, like, both of them are selfish bastards. It's just, like, I guess it struck me as the opposite to what you're saying, I guess, in a way.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we're discussing two recognizably similar characters, so we are like splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah. I mean, taking into account the full spectrum of selfishness, like De Niro was also, or Sam Rothstein was a better father, for sure, than Jordan
Yeah,
Belfort was.
certainly.
Jordan Belfort,
Probably, and a better husband, too, despite both marriages being primarily a sham.
yes, likely. I mean, Ginger was spinning out, and he was like trying to help her
Yeah.
at multiple points, but then it's just like, you reach a certain point where if
You
she
just can't.
keeps doing the same stuff, it's like you got to draw the line somewhere, I guess.
Both relationships, too, start on very questionable terms. Like, from the beginning, it's not. It's an unhealthy relationship. Like, in De Niro's case, he's trying to pay a prostitute to not be a prostitute anymore. Which, like, I suppose I see the
Save
logic
her from
there,
that
but
life.
I mean, what's going on there, bud? And then with Jordan Belfort and Naomi, like, she's engaged or in a relationship with another man, and
And
Jordan
so is
Belfort is
he,
also
more or
married at
less.
that point. Yeah,
Or,
like,
yeah, married.
yeah. So yeah, both poor decision making when it comes to the fairer sex. Anyway.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, not that it's a competition, but Jordan's was probably worse because De Niro was like also older too, right? There was a comment that Nikki had made at one point about when he was going to settle down with a woman before he meets Ginger or something. So maybe it was out of a bit of desperation or something too.
Yeah.
She was attainable at that time, more so attainable because she was like a gold digger.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But with Jordan and Naomi, it was like Jordan was just turning
just
into the
infidelity.
biggest douchebag ever, and like he saw this hot chick at a party and was like, "Yeah, I want that."
Yeah.
And then made some terrible decisions, and his wife caught him in the act, sniffing some booger sugar.
Sophia Falcone beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah, don't cross her. Jesus, after Penguin.
Well, want to fuck with
I don't
her.
think he would have made the same choices.
He's just lucky she didn't have a fork.
Oh God, yeah. Or a like lunch tray or something. Yeah, but I guess it's kind of tumultuous, the two of the relationships too. It's a bit of a roller coaster. Like it seems like there is, despite all the craziness, it seems like at points there is like some normalcy and some connection or something there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think both groups of people definitely try at their respective relationships, but like ultimately it's just the premise of them getting together is just dysfunctional to the point of no return.
Yeah, it does not end well in either case.
And further into their poor decision making, both of them addicted to illicit substances. I mean, I guess De Niro's not quite as bad as Jordan Belfort. It's just cigarettes, but it's also like smoking 500 cigarettes a day. Like, the guy is burning through packs like they're a single dart. It doesn't make any sense.
Is a chimney.
Chain smoking doesn't describe what he does. It's just constant. He breathes more cigarette than he does air.
Yeah, that, and you could argue he's like addicted to the status and fame.
Yeah,
and
like the luxury and
Yeah, what
lifestyle.
that brings for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He chases that to a fault, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Which same for Jordan Belfort too, but his more clear issues being the copious amounts of cocaine and lewds.
Yeah, he's taking enough drugs to like sedate a horse.
Yeah. Doesn't he describe it at the beginning like he takes more drugs than a pharmacy or something every day? I can't remember.
He's probably not. I think he has like a breakdown, doesn't he? He narrates a breakdown of like the different drugs he takes from wake up to bedtime type of thing.
Yeah.
To keep himself like in check.
Leveled out, yeah.
Before they get the lewds from like the 60s or
the lemon 714s.
Yeah. Those he doesn't see coming.
No.
But yeah, the lengths he goes to for drugs is probably much more desperate than De Niro's character, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing with De Niro. He's like certainly addicted to nicotine, but it's not like in a detrimental way, like to his lifestyle. Obviously detrimental to his health, but like in terms of how he operates, getting from A to B, like doesn't really make that much impact.
Yeah, no, he's not about to go down in a yacht and asking Donnie to go to the poop deck to grab the lewds.
I guess it is a funny, like, if obviously the Wolf of Wall Street's like 90s, Casino's like 70s, when you can still smoke in bars and restaurants and all that kind of shit. And something that we see portrayed in the movie. But if that was in like the late 80s, 90s, like Jordan Belfort, maybe De Niro would be doing some Quaaludes and cocaine because he can't smoke indoors.
Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't seem like the type of guy, though.
No, I don't think
that
so.
Would
it's more
be one of his vices.
Yeah. No, I don't expect so. Seems like the kind of guy that likes a clear head.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they actually are very similar. Because, like, Donnie's not violent. He's just a fucking moron.
Is it more maybe like John Bernthal's character?
He probably is. Joe Pesci probably is more like John Bernthal's
character
than Donnie. Yeah. Like, very...
Like brash, beat 'em up kind of guys.
Yeah. Both very comfortable with, like, illegal shit. Like, they meet John Bernthal Leo adds him to the team because of his success in selling drugs. Like, that was the premise. This guy's such a good salesman when it comes to drugs. What if we can just get him selling some stuff?
Yeah. Well, and he doesn't really continue with that role, though. As a salesman, he kind of comes back into play with the
rat hole,
laundering the money to the Swiss accounts, and using his wife, who's like Latvian or something.
Well, using his wife and himself, like he was buying the shares for Jordan Belfort, right? Like the Steve Madden stuff, he bought all those Steve Madden shares, not Jordan.
Yeah, so maybe that's a better comparison between the two of them.
Yeah, he's definitely I wouldn't say John Bernthal's his sidekick in The Wolf of Wall Street, so to speak, as Donnie is, but that definitely is the more correct comparison than Donnie and Joe Pesci's character, and Donnie and Nicky.
Well, Donnie has some moments of aggression, I guess. Remember when he eats the guy's fish?
When he eats Thomas Middleditch's fish, yeah. That is so funny. It's funny
he
at
least feigns aggression.
Too.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was in it, actually, until I rewatched. Get the fuck out of the office.
I like how that's the thing they fire him for, too. It's like the guy who's cleaning his fish tank, and suddenly he no longer has a job.
Yeah. Poor Thomas Middleditch. It'd be a fun role to play, though. I'm not fucking leaving. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to get me out of this place.
I need to send in the National Guard.
Navy SEALs. Send in Thanos. And I'm still not fucking leaving. Well, I guess we never even touched on the most obvious similarity between the two movies, at least for me, being like the narration, like sort of like chronicling the adventures of Sam Rothstein / Jordan Belfort.
Yeah, we were more focused on
voice
character, but yeah, that is another just on the nose parallel that both are narrated pretty heavily, I would say, and both by the protagonist. I mean, I know but I know Joe Pesci comes in from time to time in Casino for some of the narration, but 80-20 or whatever, the majority of it is Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
So not really, I feel like that's an unconventional thing that you would have, that like your protagonist would be the narrator. I feel like the narrator is usually a third party. Like, I guess first example that comes to mind is How I Met Your Mother, for like another narrated piece of work. Like, it is the character. It's the same character that is the narrator, but the voice of the narrator isn't the same as the character.
Yeah, or like Morgan Freeman from like 60 plus movies or something, doing like narration for yeah, I get what you're saying. It is an interesting choice because it's like could be unreliable. Because if the narrator is the protagonist, then they're telling their story the way they want to tell it.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like you have to keep that in mind that, okay, this played out the way it played out, the way they remember it when they retell it years later. But this is how they want it told. So it's sort of like we can probably trust like the core of it. This is kind of how shit went down, but in terms of all the details, it could be kind of spun in a way where it's
paint yourself in better light. And
yeah. It's a little bit more harder to trust everything, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interesting choice, like you said, to direct a movie like that and have a story told that way. Because neither of these characters we really like or trust, probably. So, like...
True.
But we're getting their story told to us by them, whom we don't trust and probably don't like by the end of the movie. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I guess that's a tough line to walk, because I don't know about Casino necessarily, but like Jordan Belfort wrote a book on this shit about what happened, so it is like it's Martin Scorsese's interpretation of Jordan Belfort's book in the narration that is biased towards Jordan Belfort. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many... It's another person's perspective on somebody else's perspective who, like you said, we don't particularly like.
Yeah, it's filtered quite a bit through a few different... Yeah.
Like, I wonder how different it would be. How much more or less likable Jordan Belfort would be to read the book as opposed to watch this movie. Like, if he paints himself in such a good light in his own words that you sympathize with him, or I don't really know how you could sympathize with him, but that you could have some level of understanding and not distaste.
Right, yeah. Scorsese could have, like, as a visual medium in a movie, like, it could have been, obviously, like, with the drug use that we talked about, like, that's played up quite a bit for, like, comedic value and stuff, too. So, yeah, the book might be a more honest retelling if the guy, like, went through all that shit and, like...
Or less.
Was spit out the other side. It could be less,
like,
yeah.
There's news reports on this shit, and, like, that would not have been the only resource for Scorsese's like for him to make this film. There would have been other
Yeah,
shit to look at. He
sure.
would have been
Hopefully
alive
he
while this was
did his
happening.
research beyond just the book that Jordan Belfort wrote about himself. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's like I'm looking at it in a way where Jordan Belfort went through all that crazy shit and got to a point in his life where he's like self-reflecting and maybe at a bit of a more at a stage where he can recognize the insanity of some of what he did and can write a book that's maybe a more honest reflection of what went down. But yeah, I don't think I'd be curious to check it out because I think it's just like funnier thinking of his story as it is through the movie, and I'm sure he probably like doesn't want that to be the case for people to like only know his story from the way it was told by Scorsese, but
yeah, it depends how similar it is. I guess maybe it's, or if it's more, if it's very different, maybe he just appreciates that too.
maybe, yeah.
But the montages are another. I guess that's kind of a Scorsese thing in general. Like maybe not so much with these movies, but narration over montages is like Taxi Driver. We had that too, but like in like the ones we've already mentioned, even just now, the walking through all the different positions in the casino, like what everybody's doing, and Jordan Belfort's going through his drug use routine, and
Right.
Taxi Driver, like when he's writing the letters.
Yeah.
It's, I guess that's more of not necessarily a similarity between these movies, but just a Scorsese thing.
Like a hallmark of his directional style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if any other filmmakers have picked that up. I haven't really like noticed that to be the case. I'm trying to think of other movies not by Scorsese that might have similar type montages, but
I mean, there certainly is, but it seems like now seeing this come up in every Scorsese movie I've watched, in every Scorsese movie I've watched anyway. I certainly see the pattern.
I'm thinking of Breaking Bad. Like the prison when everybody gets Walter orchestrates the death of like 13 different people all at like a synchronized time. Yeah,
that was fucking cool as shit.
As it like cycles through them with a creepily upbeat kind of musical cue. Yeah, that shit's dark.
Yeah. It's fucked up. Well, given their differences and similarities, which do you prefer, I guess? What would you say out of the two?
I think I'd have to say I prefer Casino.
Okay.
Over Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street is like fun and like zany and roller coaster of craziness and some fun sequences and stuff. But I think I just like sort of like the mob story of Casino and how it's just this web of like, you got the, like we talked about, the shadiness of the illegality of the casino itself. So sort of the cops involved, the mafia, Sam being like the mafia's or the mob's plant or whatever, and Nicky and him turning into his own thing instead of just being like Sam's muscle. I think it's just a more engaging story. I thought this stuff with Ginger was a little bit like exhausting. But yeah, I think something about and how it plays out at the end, I guess, like especially with Nikki, I didn't really see coming. It was more of a shocker. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, the writing was on the wall for Nikki, but just sort of the way they did him in was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
really drove home the violence of the mob at the time and stuff. But yeah, so I'd say Casino for sure, but Wolf of Wall Street, like there's such different tones, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to sort of, if I was in the mood for something like Wolf of Wall Street, it would be a good pick, but like I just couldn't see, like it's a weird like double feature. It would be a weird double feature to do, like Casino and the Wolf of Wall Street. They're just such stark. Like it's funny that we found so many similarities within the films because
tonally they're so different.
Yeah. But yeah. So all in all, I'd give the edge to Casino. What about you?
Okay. I understand where you're coming from, and I am not surprised at all that you prefer Casino over the Wolf of Wall Street. That's like on par. That's exactly what I would have expected. But I don't know. It's just not like the Wolf of Wall Street is just more exciting crimes. Like it's more like the I don't know, the copious drug use and the shitloads of money is just like
Pump and dump
exciting.
stocks are more exciting than Nikki bashing a guy's head in or making a fork disappear inside a guy's skull.
Yeah, but that
getting
doesn't
beaten
that
to
happens
death by
like
a
very
baseball
few
bat.
and far between. I feel like with Nikki's character, the more I saw of him, the more I thought like this guy's just all bark no bite, and like he has a little bit of bite, but when we get to the end, he just gets fucking beaten in with a pipe. It's like, all right, buddy, you look like a pussy right now.
I think that's part of his downfall too, though. He sort of loses his way. He's like the enforcer. He's the muscle. He's that, but then he gets a bit of a big head and
hard to believe from Joe Pesci, and I think that kind of took me out of it. In general, I think that is like part of the reason that it brings my score down, just because I didn't really like Joe Pesci in that role.
Pesci.
But yeah, no, I think it's just there's something more exciting about the Jordan Belfort crimes. Casino is just like very I don't know, it's more like relationship oriented or something. And I think partly like what you said with De Niro or with Sam and Ginger, like it just gets exhausting watching this fucking relationship go on for so long. And I think that's just kind of, maybe I felt the same about him and Joe Pesci too, or him and Nikki. But yeah, no, I'd give the edge to.
Yeah, it's very much relationships, like betrayals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, it's like Jordan's undoing is kind of like his own fault instead of like people backstabbing each other. Like,
yeah, it doesn't trickle down to Jordan. It's like his actions are resulting in him getting arrested, but in De Niro's case, it's like it trickles down to somebody fucking planting a bomb on his car.
Yeah.
Trying to whack him.
I guess actually Jordan does like the betraying in the end because he works with the FBI.
Yeah, but he doesn't actually.
Rat on
because he gets arrested, or they arrest him in the end because he doesn't actually engage with their investigation.
But doesn't the whole ship kind of?
No, because he goes in and wears the wire, but tells Donnie like, "I'm wearing a fucking wire. Do not say anything." And then they find out about that, and he gets arrested.
Right. Donnie.
Old Donnie.
Get old Donnie a Spucky. Maybe a pop.
Go down to the garden, get your game with Ma.
Donnie and Ma.
Anyways, before we start drawing parallels to Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about The Wolf of Wall Street and Casino. Let us know which one you thought was a better Scorsese film.
And let us know if there's any other Scorsese movies that kind of fit this bill and have this character who has a tumultuous roller coaster of a life and then kind of ends up in a diminished position in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, start searching, fanatics. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.